Number 9. Centurion is a 2010 historical action film directed by Neil Marshall, set during the Roman Empire's attempts to conquer the Picts in Britain. The film stars Michael Fassbender as Quintus Dius, a Roman centurion and the film's protagonist. After escaping a Pictish raid on his garrison, Quintus joins the legendary 9th Legion, led by General Titus Virulus, tasked with eradicating the Picts and their elusive leader, Gorlacon. However, the mission goes disastrously wrong when the Roman legion is ambushed in the harsh and unforgiving Scottish Highlands. Most of the legion is slaughtered, and General Virulus is captured. Quintus and a small group of surviving soldiers are left behind enemy lines, struggling to survive and return to Roman territory. They are relentlessly hunted by the Picts, led by Etain, a fierce warrior and tracker who has sworn vengeance against the Romans. Centurion is a brutal and fast-paced survival story that showcases intense battles, rugged landscapes, and the endurance of its characters. It has a 6.3 rating on IMDb and is available on Prime Video. Number 8. Unstoppable. The film stars Denzel Washington as veteran railroad engineer Frank Barnes and Chris Pine as rookie conductor Will Coulson. Together, they must stop a runaway train carrying hazardous chemicals that threatens to cause a catastrophic disaster if it derails in a densely populated area. The runaway train, Train 777, becomes unstoppable after a series of human errors, with no one aboard to control it. As the massive train speeds out of control across the Pennsylvania countryside, railroad dispatchers, including Connie Hooper, scramble to find a solution. Meanwhile, Frank and Will, who are on a routine job nearby, take matters into their own hands. Despite the risks, they devise a daring plan to stop the train by chasing it down in their locomotive. It has a 6.8 rating on IMDb and is available on Amazon and Apple TV. Number 7. The Man from Nowhere is a 2010 South Korean action thriller directed by Lee Jung-beom, starring Won Bin in the lead role as Cha Tae-sik, a quiet and mysterious pawn shop owner with a dark past. The film centers on Sik's relationship with a young girl named Somi, who lives next door and whose mother is involved with drug dealers. Tae-sik, despite his reclusive nature, forms a bond with Somi, who sees him as a father figure. The story takes a sharp turn when Somi's mother steals drugs from a powerful crime syndicate, leading to her abduction along with Somi. Tae-sik is dragged into the criminal underworld when the syndicate demands the return of the drugs in exchange for Somi's life. Unbeknownst to the gangsters, Tae-sik is a former highly trained government assassin, and he embarks on a relentless one-man mission to rescue Somi, taking down anyone in his path. It has a 7.7 rating on IMDb and is available on Netflix. Hey, if you're loving the list so far, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. That way you won't miss any of our top picks here on Flickzone. Thanks, and let's get back to it. Number 6. Atomic Blonde is a 2017 action thriller directed by David Leitch, starring Charlize Theron as Lorraine Broughton, a top-level MI6 spy sent on a dangerous mission to Berlin during the final days of the Cold War in 1989. Lorraine is tasked with recovering a highly sensitive list that contains the names of double agents operating in the Soviet Union. This list, if it falls into the wrong hands, could destabilize global intelligence operations. Upon arriving in Berlin, Lorraine is partnered with the city's chief MI6 station agent David Percival, a rogue operative whose loyalty is unclear. Navigating a volatile city rife with betrayal, Lorraine must figure out whom she can trust while being hunted by deadly adversaries. It has a 6.7 rating on IMDb and is available on Amazon and Apple TV. Number 5. Wheelman is a 2017 action thriller directed by Jeremy Rush and starring Frank Grillo in the lead role as an unnamed getaway driver who finds himself in a high-stakes, dangerous situation after a bank heist goes wrong. The film is notable for its intense, real-time action, with most of the story unfolding from the driver's perspective inside the car, creating a claustrophobic, edge-of-your-seat experience. The plot kicks off when the wheelman is hired to drive two criminals away from a bank robbery. However, things quickly spiral out of control when he receives a mysterious call instructing him to betray his passengers. Unsure who to trust, the wheelman is caught in a tense game of cat and mouse with criminals, mobsters, and corrupt figures, all while trying to protect his estranged daughter. As he navigates the streets in a frantic race for survival, he must figure out who set him up and how to get out alive. Wheelman is praised for its gritty, fast-paced action and Frank Grillo's intense, grounded performance as the lone driver trying to outsmart everyone involved. It has a 6.4 rating on IMDb and is available on Netflix. Number 4. Boss Level is a high-concept action thriller that centers around Roy Pulver, a former Special Forces soldier caught in a time loop, reliving the same day over and over again. Each day, Roy is hunted by a group of highly skilled assassins trying to kill him. As he repeatedly dies and resets, Roy must use his accumulated knowledge to figure out who is behind the deadly game and why he's stuck in the loop. As Roy progresses, he uncovers that his predicament is tied to a powerful, secretive organization run by Colonel Venter, and that his estranged wife Gemma is involved in a top-secret project that may hold the key to stopping the time loop. The film blends high-octane action with dark humor as Roy uses his military training and relentless determination to battle increasingly complex enemies, each death bringing him closer to the truth. Boss Level is packed with exhilarating fight sequences, shootouts, and inventive deaths, making the most of its time loop concept. It has a 6.8 rating on IMDb and is available on Hulu. Number 3. Hana is an action thriller that follows the story of a young girl, Hana, who has been raised in isolation by her father, Eric, in the remote wilderness of Finland. Eric, a former CIA operative, has trained Hana from a young age to be an elite assassin, preparing her for a dangerous mission to take down a shadowy intelligence operative named Marissa. Hana's upbringing has made her highly skilled in combat and survival, but she knows little about the world outside her remote home. When Hana finally embarks on her mission, she is thrust into a world she doesn't fully understand, traveling across Europe as she is pursued by Marissa and her operatives. As the chase intensifies, Hana uncovers secrets about her past and the real reasons she has been trained for this life. It has a 6.7 rating on IMDb and is available on Apple TV and Amazon. Number 2. District B13 is a high-energy French action film set in a dystopian near future where the government has walled off a crime-ridden area of Paris known as District B13. Inside this district, lawlessness reigns and gangs control the streets. The film follows Leito, a vigilante who fights against the gang leaders in District B13, and Damien, an elite undercover cop. The two must team up to prevent a powerful gang from using a stolen nuclear bomb to destroy the district and potentially the entire city. Leito, who grew up in the district, is skilled in parkour, a fast-paced and acrobatic movement style that allows him to navigate the urban landscape with ease. Damien, meanwhile, brings a more tactical approach with his police training. Together, they fight their way through gang-controlled territory, facing off against ruthless criminals in a race against time to defuse the bomb. It has a 7.1 rating on IMDb and is available on Apple TV. Number 1. Upgrade is a futuristic sci-fi action thriller that follows Gray Trace, a mechanic who despises technology in a world where artificial intelligence and automation dominate daily life. After a brutal attack leaves Gray paralyzed and his wife dead, he is offered a chance for revenge when a tech billionaire implants him with a cutting-edge AI chip called STEM. The chip not only allows Gray to walk again, but also enhances his physical abilities far beyond human limits. As Gray sets out to track down the people responsible for his wife's murder, he discovers that STEM can control his body with superhuman precision during fights, leading to intense and brutal combat scenes. However, Gray soon realizes that the AI chip has its own agenda, and as he gets closer to uncovering the truth behind the conspiracy, he begins to lose control over his own actions. It has a 7.5 rating on IMDb and is available on Netflix.